Good morning, Bloomin' in Place here. Last night I soaked some white northern beans overnight, triple washed them, and then I filled the crock pot with water and I soaked them. Then I rinsed them again, gave them a final rinse, which was their fourth rinse. I added more fresh water, a hunk of salt pork to give it some fat. And I diced up an onion. Well, I cut up an onion, big hunks. I like the onion in big hunks. Added some salt and pepper. And I have it going in the crock pot on low. Make some cornbread and it'll be supper tonight. The chicken water. My chickens got their first real snow. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? So, I had a very sad day. Had to put cock-a-doodle-doo down. Oh, Houghton, you tipped over the wheelbarrow. So, and here's my mess. My posts for the chicken coop and the chicken run are buried under snow instead of buried in the ground. So, and I have my makeshift coop is still functioning and working. I put together, my garden is spent. I'm pulling stuff and giving it to the chickens every day. The snow will melt. It always does. It'll be melted by today. It's supposed to be 41 degrees. But I thought I'd share the very first snowfall. For my hens. Those right there. Those are the panels that I was using, I think I showed you in the last video, to create a roof in the chicken run. I created a lean-to with them over the coop. Now this one last night came down. But because of the snow, as you can see, it's got a couple of inches. The roosters, some of them were willing to come out and then not go back in, and they were standing around in the snow lifting one foot up and then the other like a wild bird. So I put this down. I opened up a couple bags. I went around to neighborhoods that don't have black tar spot, and I picked up lawn and leaf bags, and this person had trimmed all their hedges and beautiful flowers. And so I put this down for the hens to come walk on yesterday. They have a feed block right there under this. Now, let me get this moved. So there we have it. I created a little lean-to. It keeps the wind from blowing inside their little coop. I do have a little coop door. Now yesterday the hens wouldn't come through the door. They just stayed inside and wouldn't come out past the door, even though it is simply a piece of cloth hanging over to be a wind block. But today they had no problems coming out. So I will say they have adjusted to the door. Cock-a-doodle-doo, my Americana rooster, he was injured somehow last week. The back of his head was torn open and the back of his neck, and I had to dispatch him. That was sad. I was planning on dispatching him and eating him for dinner. He had just hit the 10-month-old mark, but I don't know what bit him. Therefore, I ended up burying him in the backyard. One of the posts I had dug in the wrong spot because I changed my mind where the chicken coop's gonna go. So I had post holes dug for the first location, and so I did use one of the post holes to bury him. So he went down, 4 feet, but I had decided to move my coop. Here's the post where it's gonna go. And the reason that I decided to move it is there it is. She's all painted now. Before the snow came, that's what I was putting my energies into. The ground isn't totally frozen. This will be gone. The snow will be gone tonight, tomorrow morning, and this weekend I'll be able to finish putting in the posts and get my coop into gear. But last weekend it was warm enough that I finished painting it. I painted all my posts, and I know they're different sizes, but when it's all together, it'll make sense. But oh, by the way, when I talk about the putting in the gravel and whatnot, this post was a fence post that we put in either in 1993 or 1997. And I took it out. It's perfectly good, and I'm reusing it. So that portion of it, as far as the post goes, I will be doing it the same way, where you put gravel on the bottom as I showed you guys before, and fill it in with gravel so that you have good drainage and the post does not rot out. And over time, what I did the last time when I did the fences, because we put in pea gravel, we used pea gravel that time. Pea gravel, when water goes through, it spins and kind of washes out a little bit. And for the first couple of years, I just would buy 2-3 bags of pea gravel and mound it up around the post, so that as it went down and as it settled, more pea gravel would go down versus dirt, and keep really good drainage. And I am so pleased with how it worked. It cost just a touch more than cementing posts in, but not much. So here is the chicken coop painted, and the way I want to do it now is I've decided to put the runs coming off the side, and I want the front facing the street like a regular house. And so I kept looking at it here, because this is the way I was planning on doing it in my yard, and I kept looking at it this way and decided it's not what I want ultimately, and played with it on paper and finally decided how I'm going to do it. But that's and this is all my construction materials out here, covered in snow. I should have tarped them, but I didn't. But the purpose of the video was to give you a quick update for the bedding. And what I did is I brought home about 15 lawn and leaf bags from a neighborhood that was nice enough that they took care of those sort of things, but not so nice that they had professional landscape companies coming and spraying everything. That took 2 bags to fill that area. So I'm anticipating that every time it snows, I'm going to need 2 to 4 bags, because I only covered half the aviary. But I'm assuming that I'll need 2 to 4 bags, lawn and leaf bags of leaves, to keep their feet out of the snow. And I don't have enough. I can get hay bales. There's a lot of different options. I want having to buy bedding at Tractor Supply to be my absolute last option. Although I have a couple bags stored for when I'm in a pinch. Tell me, what is the weather like at your place? Do you have snow? Is it warm? Is it t-shirts? My dog's getting out on me. So, what is your weather like? Do you have snow yet?